This is Professor Bittinger, and this is video lecture 5 for chapter 1. Just to bring back to point that one of the root causes of the environmental problems is population growth. So we have a slide here that just simply covers this topic in relation to unchecked population growth can result in natural capital degradation, which we've already mentioned. And the question is, can we slow this natural capital degradation down by reducing the rate of population growth? So let's look at the next. This is a graphic of exponential growth related to population. The J-shaped curve represents exponential world population growth with projections to 2100 showing possible population stabilization as the J-shaped growth curve changes to an S-shaped curve. Please note that this figure is not to scale. We will go into more detail on population growth in chapter 6 of your textbook. But just to call your attention, if you look at the graph where it indicates that in 1800 we had 1 billion people, then 130 years later in 1930 we had 2 billion people. So it took 130 years to double the population. If we look for the next doubled population value of 4 billion, that occurs in 1974, which is less than 44 years later. So we basically went from 130 years of doubling the population to 44 years of doubling the population. Then if we look at 1960, where it says 3 billion, and 1999, 6 billion, that's 39 years is what it took in order for the population to double. Population is going to continue to rise. However, there is a decrease in the rate of population growth that is occurring in many different countries around the world, which we will discuss in more detail when we get to chapter 6. Another root cause of environmental problems is poverty. Poverty can have harmful effects to the environment and result in degraded forests, over-farmed topsoil or incorrectly farmed topsoil, impact to fisheries as well as wildlife populations. People that live in poverty are not concerned about long-term environmental sustainability. They are concerned with living from day to day and making sure they have food and water as well as shelter. The health effects of poverty are related to malnutrition, with limited access to sanitation for disposal of human waste as well as resource waste. In addition, they have limited access to clean water, and typically you find outdoor and indoor air pollution associated with poverty conditions. Currently, we have over 900 million people living on less than $1.25 a day globally, and about 2.6 billion people struggle to live on less than $2.25 a day. So we have a large portion of our global population in poverty conditions. You will be given an opportunity to watch an extra credit video titled Living on $1 a Day. It was a 2013 documentary video created by a couple college students that went to Guatemala and lived on less than $1 a day with the objective of trying to figure out a way to work their way out of poverty. Too many people that live in poverty conditions have more children as a matter of survival. These regions have high infant mortality rates as well, which is paralleled by high birth rates, to battle the loss of life at young age due to various malnutrition problems, lack of access to food, and clean water. People that live in these poverty conditions rely on their children to help gather firewood, haul water, tend to crops, as well as livestock. They rely on their children to help take care of aging parents. Think about it. In poverty-stricken areas, the elderly do not have access to health care, nor retirement funds, nor Social Security money, so they do rely upon their family structure to take care of them. This daily struggle leads to high population growth in some of these poorer regions. Now, poverty does not always cause environmental degradation. Some poor populations have learned to plant and nurture trees and conserve soils, which is beneficial to their overall success in farming food as well as having shelter. Earlier I mentioned full cost pricing, and this slide relates to the economics of how our economy can be impacting to the environment. We still have not yet incorporated the concept of full cost pricing into goods and services, and as a result, consumers are not fully aware of the damage that is being caused by their consumption of goods that do cause damage to the environment as well as increased health costs. Another arena that will be discussed further in follow-up lectures is current government subsidies often help increase environmental degradation, and that's because they're backing the industries such as the coal, oil, gas industry that have impact on the environment. To live sustainably, it would be better if our government subsidies became beneficial to the environment by implementing taxes on pollution and waste and shifting from environmentally harmful to environmentally beneficial subsidies. In other words, give some subsidies to help industries which are beneficial to the environment as opposed to harmful to the environment. 3 out of 4 people live in urban areas in the more developed countries. This is about half of the world's population, around 3.5 billion people. Instead of going outdoors and exploring their natural surroundings, people are getting caught up with cell phones, computers, and other electronic devices. There is a disconnect occurring. This is called nature deficit disorder. As a result, people do not know the full story of where their food, water, and other goods come from, nor are they aware of the amount of waste and pollutants that they produce, nor are they aware of where these waste and pollutants go. In other words, they are not aware of their own personal ecological footprint that's caused by their affluence. Some scientists have expressed concern that people who do not appreciate the beauty and the importance of nature, nor understand that we are dependent on the Earth's natural systems, may not have any vested interest in decreasing their own ecological footprint, nor focus on living more sustainably. This could create a challenge in the future for pursuing sustainable efforts, both in the economics, social, and environmental aspects of sustainability. This concludes this presentation. Please go to the next presentation.